Now the fallout with the death of Dante Wright comes in the midst of the trial for Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer accused in the death of George Floyd. Two cases putting the police community divided to the forefront. WCNC Charlotte's Brianna Harper spoke to former and current law enforcement across North Carolina to see what's being done to bridge the gap.
The sound of sirens and the sight of flashing blue lights is startling enough for most people. But for some, it instantly becomes a question of life or death in the hope of simply surviving an interaction with the police. Police and community together, also known as P.A.C.T, a local organization working to break down policing barriers and instead build relationships with those they serve and protect. The two creators share more than 30 years of law enforcement experience between them, and they recognize the good and bad of wearing a police badge.
Unfortunately, because of the human aspect, occasionally mistakes do occur, and that's when their supervisors and or the training has to come in that explains, hey, and accountability has to occur.
And with accountability must first come a sense of trust.
We meet the community in their neighborhoods. We talk to the community in their neighborhoods. We address the issues that the community thinks that needs to be faced.
We're told one major reoccurring issue, racism and its impact on policing.
And we have to be willing to open up and understand what those biases are before change can really happen. So having those open conversations.
On top of proper training, the goal is also to erase stigmas on both sides and avoid mistakes that could be the difference between life or death.
Because not only does it determine your future, but you determine the future of several others as well. So be proficient, know your craft.
With the help of mock traffic stops like this,
how you doing today? I'm Officer.
It teaches the do's and don'ts for the public and the police. Later on, also explaining just how important it is to properly report a complaint to help weed out those quote-unquote bad officers, but also celebrate those serving for good.
All law enforcement officers get tagged with what one person done, and it's a negative throughout the entire country, and that just simply is not fair.
Brianna Harper, WCNC, Charlotte.